How is everybody doing tonight, man? I know it's a little late in the evening, but I told you I'll be back on here. I did the show with West Coast and Landlord earlier, but there's been a lot happening around the Cowboys community today. A lot of reports, a lot of rumors. So I had to come tap in with y'all, touch base, and discuss some of this stuff, man. So we've seen a bunch of things. We had another interview for offensive coordinator. We interviewed Thomas Brown. They made some comments about the future of Dak Prescott. They made some comments about the future of Ezekiel Elliott. So we're gonna break down everything. We're gonna jump into all these rumors, speculations. Talk about the interviews from Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, and we'll just answer some of your questions as well while we go through it. Yes, sir. So to start, today the Dallas Cowboys interviewed Thomas Brown, who was the assistant coach of the Los Angeles Rams, for their vacant offensive coordinator position. Yo, T Smooth, what's good with you, man? Stephen White, what's good with you, man? I appreciate y'all for tapping in with me. So Thomas Brown, man, he's a very interesting candidate, right? Because they interviewed somebody yesterday. Hey, Tavis Banks, what's good, man? What's good? Tyler, what's up with you, man? I appreciate y'all for coming over and showing some love. So yeah, man. So he's a very interesting candidate because he is somebody that is from Sean McVay's coaching staff. And if you know anything about how I feel, I thought the Zach Robinson name that was floating around was an interesting, hire, because there was a guy that's from that coaching tree, would probably be able to come in and implement that system over here in Dallas. We seen what that system looks like. That's a system that you can win a lot of games with. That's the system that Jared Goff, flourished in. He got to a Super Bowl in that system. He looked and played like a Pro Bowl quarterback. It's the system that got Matthew Stafford his sole Super Bowl championship. So that is a very potent system to bring over here. Now the system that they run over there, is a system that's predicated on the stretch run and the play action off of that one motion. So you remember the Rams having Todd Gurley and him being a dominant running back for several years. You remember the play action pass leading to Jared Goff having success, winning shootouts against Patrick Mahomes and all kinds of stuff. So it's a very potent system when you have the personnel in place. Hey, Nelly Rogers, what's good with you? I appreciate you for tapping in. So yeah, it's a very potent system when you have the proper personnel in place. And it's something that can be emulated. I'm not sure, if he was to come over and become the offensive coordinator, how similar the system would be. But that he is from that coaching tree. He actually served as the assistant head coach these past 2 or 3 seasons for the Los Angeles Rams. He was on the same coaching staff that won the Super Bowl. So, he's an interesting hire. And he is a running backs coach by trade. So, generally a guy who was a running back coach by trade and played running back, because, he's 36 years old, but he did briefly play in the NFL. He got drafted out of Georgia. He played in the SEC as a running back for multiple seasons. So he is a guy that probably would like to run the ball. Former quarterbacks like to throw the ball. Former running backs generally tend to want to run the ball. Right? That's the way they know how to win games. You really want Mike McCarthy calling y'all plays. Yes, and I'm going to tell you why. Hey, this my guy Tuck, man. Big Tuck. What's good with you, man? I appreciate you coming over here tapping in with me. I'm going to say this, right? Coming from what we just came from, where Kellen Moore was calling numerous option routes for receivers that were not suited for it, when he was calling all curls, different things like that, I will take the chance of Mike McCarthy being our play caller. But people laugh at that notion like Mike McCarthy wasn't the play caller when he won a Super Bowl. They laugh at that notion like Mike McCarthy did not have 8 consecutive seasons of being a top 10 scoring offense in the NFL. Hey, what's up with you? Hey, J-Mac, man, what's good with you, kinfolk? What's up, cuzzo? I appreciate you for coming over, showing support to the platform, brother. I appreciate the love, man. So, yeah, Mike McCarthy, man, he produced a top 10 scoring offense for 8 consecutive seasons. Like from 2007 to 2014, they had a top 10 scoring offense in Green Bay, and he was the play caller. They won playoff games, they won a Super Bowl, they did all that stuff. Now, Mike McCarthy by himself, left to his own devices, that might be tricky, but that's why we're going to get an offensive coordinator to help him for the day-to-day activities, right? Like, really, the only person that complained about the play calling was Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers is complaining about the play calling right now, and he's supposed to have one of the best play callers in football. So, like, if the only person that is upset by the play calling is Aaron Rodgers, that's not really saying much, because Aaron Rodgers complains about everything. So, like, just looking at the raw statistics, and as a Cowboys fan, I was not watching a lot of Packers football at that time from 2007 to 2014. Like, I only cared about the Packers when we played them. So, just looking at the raw numbers, right? Like, he was a good play caller just based off of that. Now, I know that people once you're with somebody for as long as they were together over a decade, like it was probably time for a change. Like, running the same system that long and, not getting back to the Super Bowl, I could see why there would be tension building up. But, just by the numbers, he was a good play caller. And, if we do hire somebody like Thomas Brown, who could bring modern day West Coast principles over, bring that offensive style that Sean McVay, made popular over here, I think it could work. Right? Because Mike McCarthy is not, more call plays that fit y'all style. Dak is an RPO quarterback. He came at the infancy of RPO, but that's Dak's style. Get the ball to the playmakers fast or hold on. Y'all problem with Jerry Jones ain't unalived yet to keep it a beat. Jerry Jones is a meddler, but like, I agree, because like, Kellen Moore did not really, like, you look at Dak Prescott's numbers, like his rushing numbers, they all dropped when Kellen Moore became his offensive coordinator. Like, the play action percentage was like middle of the pack in the league. The motion percentage was like middle of the pack in the league. Yeah, like the stuff that worked for Dak Prescott at Mississippi State is what we did his first 3 seasons. And I'm glad you brought that up, Tuck, because I got a breakdown from the first 3 seasons with Dak Prescott and the 3 seasons worth of games he played with Kellen Moore as his offensive coordinator. Because technically, Kellen Moore was the offensive coordinator for 4 seasons, but Dak Prescott missed 17 games, which is a season worth of games in that amount of time. So it's 3 seasons to 3 seasons. So Dak Prescott 3 seasons without Kellen Moore. He was 32-16, had 85 total touchdowns, and he had 38 total turnovers. Like fumbles, lost, interceptions, passing touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, and receiving touchdowns. With Kellen Moore, Dak Prescott is 29-20, 108 touchdowns, but 53 turnovers. Right, so he has a lower win percentage, higher turnover percentage, and also to note, he has a lower winning percentage against winning teams with Kellen Moore. Because Kellen Moore is a guy, and listen, I was very hard on Kellen Moore, but I'll be real with you. I think he will succeed where he went, with Justin Herbert. Because Justin Herbert is a guy who can throw the ball 70 yards off his back damn foot. Like the type of plays that Kellen Moore calls up, you're going to need somebody who is a freakish athlete. Dak Prescott's best skills is outside of the pocket. He's 240 pounds. He can run for first downs. He can extend plays, right? So, like, Dak Prescott, he's good at that. You want Dak Prescott throwing the ball about 30 times. You want him to run the ball about 7 times. And then, you're going to supplement Dak Prescott with a run game. And you win a lot of games with Dak Prescott doing that, because you get in trouble when you really get in trouble with any quarterback when you throw the ball 40 plus times, because even Aaron Rodgers has a losing record when he throws the ball 40 times or more. And if Aaron Rodgers can't do it, I sure in hell don't want Dak Prescott doing it. Not to knock Dak Prescott, but like, Dak Prescott has more skill sets outside of his arm. Like, Dak Prescott still has mobility. He's still powerful. And like, if you look at the numbers, he's like one of the best quarterbacks off of play action. When you get Dak Prescott on the move and when you allow him to be an athletic quarterback, he is a different player. Like, so that's why I don't feel like he really matched with Kellen Moore. I think I've been very hard with Dak Prescott, with Kellen Moore since he's been here, but I think he will have success with Justin Herbert. I don't know if it's going to translate to them winning games, right? Because in 2020, the year that Dak Prescott got hurt, he was averaging 45 passing attempts a game, and he was on record to throw for 6,000 yards. He was on pace to throw for 6,000 yards for the injury. So, that would have shattered all the single season record because, we were playing with historically bad defense, but we were putting up historical numbers on offense. So we were having shootouts every game. He was throwing the ball a lot. He had inflated numbers, but it was not leading to wins. So I think that Kellen Moore and Justin Herbert are going to get along fine, but, I still don't know if that's going to translate to wins because I have not seen it really be efficient in the NFL outside of Patrick Mahomes. Right, that high volume style of passing, it doesn't really suit many people. Like Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes are the only two quarterbacks in NFL history that at least have a 60% win percentage when passing the ball 40 times or more. So, if Kellen Moore wants Dak Prescott to throw the ball 40 times, he can't be here. He can't be here because that's a disservice to Dak Prescott, right? Because we look at Jalen Hurts right now. He's in the Super Bowl with 24 passing touchdowns, 15 rushing touchdowns. Like, he has a play caller that calls the game to his strengths, and that's what Dak Prescott needs. Somebody to let him be a dual threat quarterback. But yeah, so now that we touched on that, I think we went through how I felt about getting Thomas Brown, how I felt about Mike McCarthy still being the play caller. And I think it will work because, look, Dan Quinn is still here. We should still have a top 10 defense. And I know that this is going to be Dak Prescott's first, opportunity to play in the West Coast style offense. But, it takes away some of the stress. Like, when you have a top 10 defense, it's not going to allow, another team to just pour on points on you. You have room to grow. Like, it will supplement some of the growing pains you can expect to start the season. But, all in all, I think Mike McCarthy, has earned the right to be the play caller of the Dallas Cowboys. Think what he done for this team, right? Came in first time having back-to-back 12-win seasons since the 1990s. First time to win a road playoff game, since 1992. Like, he's doing a bunch of things that haven't been done in Dallas in a long time. So he's earned the right to put together the coaching staff that he wants. Because remember, Kellen Moore was a guy that was in place before he even got here. Doesn't play to his player strengths. I think the older he gets, the better he'll become as a coach. I hope he finds success in his future career. Yeah, man. Like, I think Kellen Moore is a great play designer that lacks situational play calling. Because Kellen Moore, he has one style of play for most of his career. And you saw a little bit of the growth this year, right? You saw he didn't have Cooper Rush throwing the ball 40 times. Because before, Dak Prescott threw the ball 40 times. Garrett Gilbert, who was an Arena League football player, threw the ball 38 times in his first career start. Ben DiNucci, who was a 7th round pick, threw the ball 40 times in his first start. Andy Dalton, who had no training camp, right, because it was COVID in a whole new system, threw the ball 40 times in his first start. And he did that, and Ezekiel Elliott was completely healthy, and Tony Pollard was completely healthy. So I saw he supplemented, his quarterback with a run game much better this season. And hopefully for his sake and his development as a play caller, he continues to do so. All right, so we spoke on that. We spoke on Thomas Brown. Now let's talk about the talk surrounding Dak Prescott for a little bit. Like, they pretty much came out and said, they still fully support Dak Prescott, as they should, because the man did win a damn playoff game, right? He did go on the road and beat Tom Brady, and he did have 5 touchdowns. I know he had a bad game after that, but we sort of exclude the fact that he won a road playoff game for the first. Hey, Ty Bunn, what's up with you? Yeah, we sort of just glossed over the fact that he did go out there and on the road and beat the hell out of Tom Brady now. On the road, first road playoff win in 30 years, and we just glossed over that because of what happened in the next round. But he did do that, No, he was productive. He had another winning season as a starting quarterback. He got you, he got you to the playoffs. He got you a playoff win, and now you just got to build on that. And he did it, right? He did that with T.Y. Hilton being his second best wide receiver, who was 33 years old and was sitting at his house like I am right now, until the middle of the season. With Michael Gallup, who just had to have another damn surgery on his leg, another procedure on his leg, who was nowhere close to being healthy, and with Noah Brown, who was a career damn special teams player. So like he did that. He like him, CeeDee Lamb, Dalton Schultz, and the rest of their cast, were the number one scoring offense in the games that Dak Prescott played. He did that. So I understand why they would want to give him an extension. And exactly like we were the last team to ever beat Tom Brady. Like that's something to hold on to, right? That's something to build off of. I'm not saying you get any banners for the shit, but just like from a confidence standpoint, you went on the road and beat Tom Brady. Like no matter how old he is, no matter what his team record was, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won a division. They were the higher seed. They were hosting us, and they already beaten us. We need to lab on these lives, dog. I'm down, bro. Like, hey, especially around draft time, man, because I know you're gonna be looking at folks, for them Patriots. I know you. And hey, Tuck's a real diehard Patriots fan, man. Like he up here cussing out Mac Jones, right. So like he ain't jumped ship. He's still rocking with the Patriots, dog. So like, yeah, we definitely can do some stuff together, Tuck. For sure, my guy. We definitely can do some stuff because hey, it's gonna be slow during the off season. It's gonna be slow as hell during the off season. We can definitely do some stuff, my brother. So yeah. But where my train of thought at? What the hell was I talking about? Y'all help me out. I get forgetful in my old age. Oh yeah, we talked about beating Tom Brady in the playoffs. So yeah, we beat Tom Brady in the playoffs, and that's the last game he's ever gonna play. It's a loss against the Dallas Cowboys. A loss against Dak Prescott on the other side. So like that's a big thing. That's a big deal. It's a quarterback we had never beaten before. We had not won a road playoff game in 3 decades. So like that is great stuff to build on. Like I understand, like people want to win championships, but you don't win. You're putting yourself behind the 8 ball. Yeah, you're putting yourself behind the 8 ball, trying to start over. Like you just won a playoff game on the road, and you only lost by possession to the number 2 seed in the entire NFC at their house. And your running back got hurt during the process. So it's the right thing to do to give Dak Prescott an extension. Because let's just go through it. Financially, if you don't extend Dak Prescott, his cap hit next year is going to be $49 million, who will be the second biggest cap hit in the entire NFL. Right? You need more players around Dak Prescott. Right? Because you look at the teams that were in the Final Four. Joe Burrow got T. Higgins. He got Chase. He got the Hurts boy at tight end. He got Joe Mixon. Like he has weapons. You look at the Philadelphia Eagles, who are in the Super Bowl right now. They went and got A.J. Brown. They invested a first-round pick in Devontae Smith. Dallas Goedert is considered one of the best tight ends in football. Miles Sanders was a Pro Bowl running back, right? Who else they got? They got Pascal, right? They went in and invested in wide receiver position, and they have weapons. Now they are a very run-oriented team, but they do have skill position players on the outside that can make plays when they do pass the ball. Then you look at the 49ers, like they are stacked. Deebo Samuel's an all-pro receiver. Ayuk is a 1,000-yard receiver. Kittle, he might be the second best tight end in football. They went out and invested, draft capital and got Christian McCaffrey. And then even the Chiefs, like I know they got rid of Tyreek Hill, but they replaced Tyreek Hill. They replaced Tyreek Hill with like 4 different people. They went and got Juju, Valdez Scantling. They spent a top 100 pick on Sky Moore, right? and then they still had McCole Hardman. They got Travis Kelce. So like they went out and yeah, they lost one of the best receivers in football, but they went and replaced him with like nice complementary players for Patrick Mahomes. So like Dak Prescott, he needs more, right? And this notion that you're not a good quarterback unless you can drag bad, players to a Super Bowl is crazy. Because the only person that really did that was Tom Brady. You can't say Patrick Mahomes because he had Tyreek Hill when he won his Super Bowl. You're right. He had Sammy Watkins as his third receiver. So like he had a great arsenal of weapons when he won his Super Bowl. The Rams had a great arsenal of weapons when they won their Super Bowl. You need more with that. Yo, Desmond Iron, man, what's good with you, man? I appreciate you for tapping in with me, man. Like for real, I appreciate the love and support y'all showing to me. But yeah, so like Dak Prescott, by taking this extension, you can lower his cap hit and you can provide the support that he needs, right? Because you don't have to pocket watch Dak Prescott at that point. You're gonna lower his cap hit to where it's very manageable. You're gonna clear up a lot of cap space so you can resign guys like CeeDee Lamb. You can resign guys like Trayvon Diggs. You can, upgrade certain skill positions. You can get a better number 3 receiver than Noah Brown in the building. Like there's a bunch of things you can do just by restructuring that one contract. And then, we ain't even talked about touching Ezekiel Elliott's money yet, because I'm pretty sure he'll restructure and come back at a cheaper price. Because they already talked about that too. They saying they want Ezekiel Elliott back in the building. Now, I don't know if that's just lip service, right? Because I don't know how far Ezekiel Elliott's gonna let them bend him over. Because it's gonna take Ezekiel Elliott taking a massive pay cut for him to stay. But Henny, is that a good deal for him for 10 years? I don't know if he really meant Dak Prescott being a quarterback for the next 10 years or just like 10 years in total, right? Because I don't think they're going to give Dak Prescott like at one time like a Patrick Mahomes deal. I don't think they'll do 10 years, $400 million or $300 million for Dak Prescott. But I do think they'll give him an extension right now, and they'll extend him for another 2 years. And at the end of the 2 years, he would have been in Dallas for 10. Because this season right here is going to be his 8th season that he been the quarterback of the Cowboys, right? Then he has another year at the end of that. If you extend him, like he'll be the quarterback for over a decade for the Dallas Cowboys. So that may be what he's talking about, but I don't think it's a good idea to give anybody a lifetime deal, no matter how good you think they are. Because injuries happen, the market changes. Like they might want to get out. The situation may sour where he wants to be moved because of a coaching change, things like that. I never want to tie any player, right? I never want to tie any player to a franchise for eternity. They talking about $210 million. $210 million extension. Let's take a look. Let's see what I can find about this extension. Let's see what I can find about this extension. But I haven't seen no actual numbers. I just seen where, that was on the table. And when you really think about it, like a $210 million extension is not as crazy as it sounds. Because like he's already making $40 million a year right now, right? So let's see. If they extended Dak Prescott for 5 years at $210 million, it'd just be $42 million a year. Right. So it's only be like a $2 million increase with a lower cap hit because it's gonna be spread over the course of 5 years or something like that. So like he'll still get a slight pay raise, but it'll actually help the cap if those are the real numbers. Now, I haven't seen any reports about the actual figure that they're looking at giving Dak Prescott on this extension. I just know like the cap relief, no aspects of it. Because depending on how they work the deal, they can save upwards, to $30 million next year. Just depending on how they work out his deal. Because they can convert a lot of his base salary into a signing bonus. Hey, what's up with you, Matt Baden? Hey, I'm doing good tonight, Ken Folk. I appreciate you tapping in with me. So yeah, so like just for cap purposes in of itself, Like we're negative $7 million over the cap right now. I know everybody wants to keep Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs is only going to make $4.8 million this year, and he's been a two-time Pro Bowler and an All Pro. He is not going to go out there and play on that money. I tell you that right now. So you're going to have to extend him this damn off season to prevent a holdout. I'm pumped for Dak to stay. I'm pumped. I'm pumped for him to stay too, because he's going to be playing. He's going to be in a system that is very quarterback friendly. The West Coast offense is one of the most quarterback friendly offenses, in the league. Like, and when I say a West Coast offense, I'm going to give you the Webster definition of the West Coast offense. I can sit here and try to explain it. All right. All right, so this is the Wikipedia explanation for the West Coast offense. In American football, the West Coast offense is an offense that places a greater emphasis on passing than on running. There are two similar but distinct offensive strategic systems that are commonly referred to as West Coast offenses. Originally, the term referred to the Air Coryell system popularized by Don Coryell. Following a journalistic era, however, it it now more commonly refers to the offense system devised by Bill Walsh while he was the offensive coordinator of the Cincinnati Bengals. The offense is characterized by short, horizontal passing routes in lieu of running plays to stretch out defenses, opening up the potential for long runs or long passes. It was popularized when Walsh was the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, right? And you've probably seen that meme floating around. They say we're gonna see a bunch of slants and flats. And those are staples in the West Coast offense. It's called the long handoff for a reason. Because like they said, you will get your running backs involved in the West Coast offense. They will receive a bunch of dump down passes. Like you will see a lot of slant routes to get the ball out of the quarterback hands fast and into the hands of their playmakers. You will see a lot of plays to the flat, and you will see post routes. You will see over routes, to go along with it. So like it really is an offense that's predicated on your playmakers running away from the defense, right? So let's compare what Kellen Moore's system was compared to what Mike McCarthy's system is. Kellen Moore pretty much implemented a lot of option routes, right? There's a lot of things that he did at Boise State on an option route. That there's not a predetermined area where the receiver is going to end up. The receiver is going to react to the coverage, right? Depending on how the coverage is played, he has an option to either go take his route here, here, or here. And depending on the coverage, that's where the receiver is going to end up. The quarterback, and in this instance, the quarterback and the receiver have to see the coverage the same way in order for the play to work. Now, when you are in sync with each other, this is you technically can always end up open, right? Because there's only so much area that a defense can cover. So he was running option routes. It was predicated on the quarterback and the wide receiver having the same understanding of the defense and knowing which window they were going to attack. And you did see the errors in that. Like you did see Dak Prescott lead the league in interceptions, but what you did not know probably is Dak Prescott led the league in turnovers on non-turnover worthy plays, meaning the throw and the decision was not the fault of the quarterback on such plays. There were 7 such instances when Dak Prescott had a turnover that PFF deemed was not Dak Prescott's fault. So that's almost half of the interceptions that he threw. And that is a byproduct, of running that many option routes. You saw the curl routes, and the comeback routes and hitches were a staple in Kellen Moore's offenses. So like that is pretty much the scheme that Kellen Moore was running. Mike McCarthy in the West Coast offense, like on a slant, like it's a simple move, simple in breaking route. The ball have to come out quickly to hit the receiver in stride, and you're off to the races, right? No, really, really short 3-step lot of 3-step drops in this particular kind of offense. Like you're getting the ball out very quickly. You're not getting the defense a chance to set, and then you occasionally will attack the deeper areas of the field with corner routes and post routes and over routes like that. But it's a offense that is designed to get the ball out the quarterback hand into the hands of his playmakers as quickly as possible. Like they pointed out, Bill Walsh revolutionized that offense back in the day for San Francisco. Like that is the offense that Joe Montana played in. That is the same offense that Mike McCarthy learned. That is the offense that Brett Favre played in. That is also the offense that Aaron Rodgers played in. So like it is a very pass heavy offense, but it is more suited for the things that Dak Prescott does. He can make simple reads, get the ball out of his hand in a timely manner, get the ball to his wide receivers, get the ball to his tight end, get the ball to his running backs. Yeah, only half the take turnovers were Dak's fault. A lot of balls this season. Yeah, a lot of balls hit receivers' hands, things like that. A lot of times receivers ran the wrong route. So, it is what it is. It comes with the territory of running that particular kind of system. But, like just by running the West Coast offense, like a lot of that stuff is going to be taken, it's going to take care of itself. Because this is a timing-based system. Like three-step drop. I'm at the end of my drop back. My first read should be open. The ball should be out. Like it is one of the most simplest passing concepts in football, right? Intermediate passes to short passes with the occasional deep shot, and of course you can mix in a run game, you can mix in play action, but it's a very quarterback friendly system that they run with the West Coast offense. So with that said, like that is something to look for in a resurgence of one Dak Prescott. Like he had a bunch of interceptions this year. Like you're not going to really throw a lot of interceptions in the West Coast offense, right? Unless they're jumping the routes. But like with the way that these routes are ran, like there's not a lot of time to get underneath these routes. They're real quick passes. They're really efficient passes, and you're going to march down the field. It's the things that Dak Prescott does well. It is similar to a ball control offense. So, but, just knowing Dak Prescott and the things that he is good at, right? He, like when he does not have to force passes or make sure his receivers running the correct route and things like that. If he knows where his guys are going to be, he is very efficient in delivering the football. He is top 10 in NFL history in completion percentage for a reason, right? He is top 10 in passer rating in NFL history for a reason. Like he is very careful with the ball for the most part. This season is an outlier, right? He has never thrown 15 interceptions in a season before, right? And really, when you look at just the year prior, Dak Prescott had a 3.7 to 1 touchdown to interception ratio. He threw 37 touchdowns to only 10 interceptions just a year prior to this. So that Dak Prescott is not a guy that is really a high turnover quarterback. And this is the kind of system that will give him the leeway to get back to being as efficient as he was to start. This year, with his first bad year throwing picks, he's normally great at turnovers. Like even with leading the league in interceptions this year, Dak Prescott is still 8th all time in touchdown to interception ratio. So it's not like it's a small sample size. Like this is 7 years of Dak Prescott being in the league. So like we know what kind of quarterback he is. Like if you're still top 10 in completion percentage, passer rating, and TD to interception ratio after damn near a decade in the league, like you are a good quarterback. So like I think the issue that some fans have with Dak Prescott is that he's not Patrick Mahomes. Like he is still like at the bare minimum top 10 quarterback, in the league. So, just because he's not the best quarterback in the league does not mean that he is not a good quarterback. Like people expectations are just too high. Like he is still at bare minimum a top 10 quarterback. I think he's like the sixth or seventh best quarterback in the league. But it is what it is. Like people expect Dak Prescott to be Patrick Mahomes or some of the other guys, and he's not. But that is okay. He is still more than good enough to win a Super Bowl with. And we just have to understand that as a fan base that he needs help, right? He is sometimes going to play bad games because everybody does play bad games. And we just need like a run game and some good play calling to supplement it when those things happen. When it goes off the rail, he just needs a little bit more support. And this is how we have to accept that. So let's see. So we discussed Mike McCarthy. We discussed Thomas Brown. We discussed Dak Prescott's possible contract extension. And I don't think we really touched on Ezekiel Elliott yet, have we? Like we mentioned it that they wanted to keep him around. But I didn't really get into what that looked like financially. So let's take a look. We'll talk about Ezekiel Elliott for a second since they were talking about it. And then we'll talk about how poorly, matter of fact, that's something I also want to touch on. It's how poorly Jerry Jones handled the wide receiver position this offseason. Because even after seeing what happened, he still is saying he has no regrets about trading away Amari Cooper. Right? I don't know if y'all watched the clip, but basically he was saying, right, he's better than Hurts last year. Says, yeah, of course. But yeah, so like I don't know if you've seen the clip or not, but they pretty much asked Jerry Jones about the Amari Cooper trade, and he pretty much he doubled down on it. He said he had no regrets about trading Amari Cooper away, but he said he put too much stock, in the ability of Jalen Tolbert to be productive, and the ability to count on Michael Gallup, and both of those were dumb ideas anyway. To just be honest with you. Because listen, Jalen Tolbert, no matter where you drafted him at, even if he was going to be a top first round pick or something, it is a lot to ask a rookie wide receiver to come in and take up the slack, for a multi-time Pro Bowler, for a wide receiver that has multi-1,000-yard seasons, and then you knew Michael Gallup would be hindered because he just had knee surgery. Like you don't come back the first year of an ACL tear and be the same player that you were before you left. And then even before Michael Gallup got the contract, he was injured for most of that season before he tore his ACL. He had another injury before he tore his ACL. So you really haven't been able to count on Michael Gallup anyway for the past 2 seasons. Because he was dinged up all of last year. Then he tore his ACL. He had a rehab from his ACL this previous offseason, and you knew he wasn't going to come back and be the same player. That's not how that works. Like all players come back minimized from what they were the first year removed. We are listening, Henny. Hi, chat. Yeah, so like all players come back, a little slow. The first year after the ACL tear. So it's really like it was very poorly managed by Jerry Jones in that aspect, because you can't put the fate of your franchise on the shoulders of a rookie wide receiver and another wide receiver, that's dealing with numerous injuries. In Kellen Moore's system, he should have been able to do some of the things Gallup did. Yeah, but I'm also going to say this, right? Kellen Moore is a guy that runs numerous option routes. So it's not like even just learning one route. It's not like just learning one route on the play, because there are multiple routes on the play, right? It's not like he just got to learn, this play I got a slant. This play I got an over route. This play I got a comeback route. Like in Kellen Moore's system, like he has like 3 different damn routes, right? It could be a slant. It could be a goal. It could be a hitch, depending on the coverage. Because if you're running an option route, you have options. You have 2 to 3 options on an option route. And listen, this is a rookie. This is a rookie, right? Your 7-year quarterback doesn't even get it right all the time. CD Lamb who was a veteran receiver at this point, did not get it right all the time. So I can really understand why Jalen Tolbert was not playing in this offense a lot, because it's predicated too much on the wide receiver being able to read and understand the coverage, right? Because like most systems, your wide receiver just has that one particular route on the play. Most systems, if it's banana, Y, whatever, right? I don't know the terminology they be using. Like it might be a post, it might be a slant that you have to run on that one particular play. But since Kellen Moore's offense is predicated on so many option routes, like he has, like so many different route combinations he has to learn just to get on the damn field. So in a West Coast offense though, like there's not like a lot of routes he has to learn. There's not. Like if he learns the basic staples of a West Coast offense, he learns the slant, he learns the flat, he learns the post, the over. Like he'll be in the game taking numerous snaps. Like there are plenty bread and butter routes, inside of the West Coast offense that most receivers already know. It's not based on a number system or anything like that. I wonder if we run 3 running backs. LeRon Lewis, he said, I am sick and tired of the Dak Prescott show. Tell me, Mr. Lewis, what is the Dak Prescott show? Elaborate for me. And I'll see if I can ease your mind a little bit. Because listen, I understand a lot of y'all are upset, about losing to the 49ers in the fashion that we did. And I will not defend Dak Prescott for having a bad game, because he definitely did have a bad game. However, Dak Prescott at this moment in time is the Dallas Cowboys' best option at quarterback. You have no other quarterback on the roster. You are drafting, at the bottom of the first round, so you will not get a quality guy to replace him. His contract is set to a way where you cannot cut him, trade him, or do anything else with him. So like you are stuck with him. He said, since that Dak Prescott been in the NFL, the Philadelphia Eagles had 2 different coaches, 2 different quarterbacks reach the Super Bowl, and you're still praising number 4. Okay. And in that time frame, like nobody else has really won Super Bowls. Look at who all has won a Super Bowl. You mentioned the Eagles, right? Tom Brady, like if I'm not mistaken, like since Dak Prescott's been in the league, Tom Brady won the Super Bowl 4 times. So like Tom Brady has 4 of the Super Bowls. Nick Foles has one of the Super Bowls. Matthew Stafford has a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes has a Super Bowl. And that's it. Like Tom Brady won 4 Super Bowls. Matthew Stafford has a Super Bowl. Right? Nick Foles and, Patrick Mahomes. Like it's not like everybody else is winning Super Bowls. Like all the other top quarterbacks aren't winning Super Bowls either. Joe Burrow, he's been, but he lost. Josh Allen has never been. Justin Herbert has not won one. Kyler Murray, no, he has not done it. Deshaun Watson has not done it. So, like we really just have to calm down and give these guys time. Drew Brees did not make a Super Bowl till the 9th year of his career. Matthew Stafford just made a Super Bowl like last year. He's been in the league forever. Right? So, like, and I get it. You see some of these guys come in and get farther and things like that. But it's different strokes for different folks. Like when you look at their path to the Super Bowl, they only had to beat Daniel Jones and the Giants, and then they beat, Josh Johnson. They beat Josh Johnson. Right? In a similar situation, you can't say you don't think Dak Prescott or Tony Romo could have did that. I definitely think both those guys could have beat the teams that the Eagles beat and got to the Super Bowl. But that wasn't our path. We played guys like Aaron Rodgers on our path. We played Matthew Stafford. We played Russell Wilson. We played Tom Brady. We played the 49ers at their house when their quarterbacks were healthy. So, like, it really is all about luck, matchups, and just how things fall sometimes. Right? It takes more than, just raw talent to win a Super Bowl. If that was the case, Dan Marino, would have won a Super Bowl, but he didn't. Fran Tarkenton would have won a Super Bowl, but he didn't. Like, it takes more than just supreme talent at the quarterback position. You can't talk bad about Dak that much. When Mike got here, we are in the playoffs back-to-back years. And who was your starting quarterback? Jared Goff signed a huge deal, went to the Super Bowl. Brown traded him. Carson Wentz signed a huge contract. Traded him. NFL contracts are like toilet. Well, they are like toilet when you don't have a no-trade clause. And I'm glad you brought that up. The reason that Dak Prescott was smart enough to get a no-trade clause included in his contract is because the two guys you mentioned were in his draft class. He saw them sign mega deals and end up on other teams in a blink of an eye. So, like, Dak Prescott is not a dummy. Like, he made sure to get job security. So, like, you can trade Dak Prescott with his permission. He can also tell you to kiss his ass, because that's what a no trade clause means. Like, he down with the trade, like he'll okay it. If he doesn't, he'll just tell you like he ain't with it. So, that's the difference. Jared Goff did not have a no trade clause. Carson Wentz for sure did not have a no trade clause, because he was already riddled with injuries. Let the media narrative 27 years ago that's not on Dak. Dak has given the Cowboys the best 7-year stretch in 20 years. That is also true. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow has been to a championship, something Dak knows nothing about. Yeah, and Josh Allen lost. Like, people give Josh Allen a lot of credit for going to a championship game and losing by 2 touchdowns. Like, last time I checked, the only thing we actually cared about was winning a Super Bowl, right? Because people talk about the 49ers as being a great franchise. They have a longer Super Bowl drought than we do. Just because you go, you still failed. Like, every time you go to a season without winning a Super Bowl, it is a failure. So rather you go to the Super Bowl and lose, or you go to the NFC Championship game and lose, or you lose in the first round, or you lose here or there, like, you still lost, you still failed. That is the failure. So, like, no, the only successful quarterbacks since Dak Prescott has been in the league are Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Nick Foles, and Matthew Stafford. Those are the only 4 quarterbacks who won Super Bowls. And so those are the only 4 quarterbacks who have been successful. Right? Matter of fact, give me 1 second, y'all. I'm going to get OG West Coast in the building with us real quick. West Coast wants to tap in with us, so I'm going to send OG a link. So give me a second. I'll bring West Coast on with us and we'll continue this. So, yeah, man. And listen, I understand the frustration, because I had to calm down too. I cussed my TV out. I cussed Dak out. I've seen the way he played against the 49ers. I do understand why people are frustrated, because it seemed like we're close a lot of times. And, he did play a bad game. He played a bad game at the worst possible time. Cowboys played Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy. Come on, say it with me, Brock Purdy. Yeah, but Brock Purdy beat Geno Smith too. And listen, we always talk about the games we lost. You mentioned that we lost to Brock Purdy, and then you skipped over we beat Tom Brady. So we beat the GOAT and then lost to Mr. Irrelevant. So that sort of levels itself out, right? Because we were in position to lose to Brock Purdy and them, because Dak Prescott had a 5-touchdown game against the GOAT on the road. So, like, yes, he came up short in that game, right? But we're not going to act like he is incapable of being successful. So, like, seeing Dak Prescott win a road playoff game, that is growth. He had never done that before. He won a playoff game at home before, but winning a road playoff game on the road, that is a different story, right? So that is progression, and that's all you can ask for, under a new coaching regime. Mike McCarthy first year, Dak Prescott got hurt. We missed the playoffs. The next year after that, we made the playoffs and won the division, but we lost the first round. Right? Then this year we made the playoffs and we won a playoff game, right? And we got to divisional. So to build on that, what we need to do is try to get to the NFC Championship game next year, right? At that point is when you can have concern. If we're not continuously progressing year to year to year, that's when you can have the concern about maybe switching some more stuff out. But in the 10 years since Mike McCarthy's been here, like we have progressed. Yeah, he had a no trade clause that he waived. He wanted out. Like the only way that he can get out is if he wants to leave. That's what you're not understanding. Russell Wilson wanted to be out of he wanted to be out of Seattle. If Dak Prescott does not want to leave Dallas, it doesn't matter what we think. He has the no trade clause. If I'm the owner, I come to you and say I want to trade you. I don't want you still going to want to stay. I'm sure he will. Because guess what? He didn't want listen, the owner didn't want to even pay Dak. Did they stop Dak from getting paid? No. Hey, listen, this is a business. Like the owner of the business you work for right now, if you work for somebody, they probably doesn't want to pay you right now. Or me or anybody else, but they have to because you provide a service that they cannot get. Like as much as people talk about Dak Prescott, they cannot go and name 10 quarterbacks in the league who are better. Right? They are stuck with Dak Prescott for better or worse because he is their best option. West Coast, what's good, kinfolk?
What's up with you, man?
Hey, everybody, welcome West Coast, man. Welcome West Coast Cowboy to the platform, man. He over here rocking with us over here at HTN Sports.
You goddamn right, man. It's your boy West Coast. How's everybody doing?
Man, we just up here chopping it up, man.
Shoot, I heard that, man. Hey, Sue, man. I just got to the house, man. My daughter is a swimmer, so I had to go pick her up late. So I had to fly to the house and get dinner and everything else. How that worked? Oh man, it's pretty dope. So heck yeah, so I can go live, boo. I can go live on my. Hold on, I'm turning my lives on right now. Boom. Let me turn my YouTube on. Let's see. Boom. Oh, this is dope, Henny.
Yeah. See, I liked it, man. That's why this is one I went to. Matter of fact, hey, shout out to the Big Time Show, man. Shout out to Bishop at the Big Time Show for putting me on Restream.
Absolutely. Hey, it's late night, so y'all might hear me yelling at my kids, so forgive me. They need to learn how to sweep floor, though. Ain't my fault. But yeah, what's on your mind, man?
Man, we just been up here chopping it up, about a couple of different topics. We talked about the hire. We talked about the interview we did with Thomas Brown. We talked about the possibility of Dak getting an extension. There's different things. I'm actually going to get your advice on it. So what do you think about the possibility of Dak Prescott getting extended? Why are you with it? Why are you not for it? And then we'll go to the next topic.
I'm definitely for extending Dak Prescott. What I mean by extending is like you're really not even really extending him because you're really just updating my payment amount because I know Cowboy fans ain't gonna want to hear this, but if you're really paying for what you get, Dak and Patrick Mahomes and the Allen kid, these should be some of the higher paid quarterbacks in football. Why? Because they're finding ways to consistently put their teams in positions to win a championship. Now, if it doesn't happen, only one team's going to win it anyway. You know what I'm saying? So 31 teams are going to fail anyway. But the ultimate goal is to make sure that, that your quarterback's putting you in a position to at least try to get one. And Dak is doing that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I know folks be all trying to. I just don't get people, bro. Like I'm one of them dudes. Like when I get money, like say I hit a bag, right, bro? I hit a bag, bro. It's about to be Gucci flip flops for everybody, bro. like when I get money, bro, I be feeling on. Like I'm on. You can't tell me nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Real talk.
But I don't know. Some people just different, I guess, man. like they're just different. You know what I'm saying? So. I feel like, Dak Prescott, making $40 million right now. Aaron Rodgers is making $49 million right now. That's $9 million in delta. And one guy is consistently putting his team in the playoffs, and another guy, you know what I'm saying, you got to also think about this. Aaron Rodgers was not only the highest paid quarterback, but he also didn't even really want to play at first.
Mhm. That's true.
Like, so it's like, listen to these loyalties, bro. Like, now, and Dak don't put you through no drama. Like, sometimes the fact, like, let's think about all the top quarterbacks got some type of drama around them. Aaron Rodgers, he's a douche. I mean, he's just, you know what I'm saying? He is what he is. Then Russell Wilson, he got some, he got some weird stuff around him. Deshaun Watson, allegedly, we already know what's up with him.
Right, allegedly.
Allegedly. You know what I'm saying? But listen to me. 29 allegedly. Nah, you did something, bro. Like that ain't even snitching. That's just good math. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if
Hey,
you go
Matt
look,
Baden just sent you. He just sent you a $10 super chat. He said you're the best and keep up work, West Coast too.
man, I appreciate you, man. I'm gonna tell y'all though, man. Listen to me, man. Like, one thing I've learned in this game though is, like, with everything I've learned, I get better by not even dealing, but, like, being involved with guys like HTM and Landlord, and, you know what I'm saying, these young guys that are in the content creator, like these guys, like, they keep your boy West Coast motivated. So, I appreciate you for supporting me, but equally I appreciate you for supporting the people that I support, because, you know, them dark days, bruh. And I'm gonna tell you this too. If this is your first real, like, off season where you are, like, committing to saying that, like, I'm gonna be different this year, I'm gonna, like, really stay in tuned, you know, you're gonna really appreciate your content creators come around. I say around like May, June. I call it the suck. You know what I'm saying? Where Jerry Jones take his big old boat and they go disappear in the ocean somewhere for like 2 months before they lock in. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when you really gonna appreciate your content creators in this off season. Because right now the NFL has done a really good job of keeping us entertained for the next 6-7 months. They're gonna do a really good job. You know what I'm saying? And I also need Cowboy fans to understand that, sometimes the easiest thing when business is low is just to slap a Cowboy fan, because then it just get riled up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
over these 7 months, don't be surprised. Every once a month, the NFL has a scheduled Dallas Cowboy drama. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, more than talking about Dak Prescott, you know what I'm ready for, Henny? I'm ready
What's
for
up?
this season to be over, bro.
Right. Like,
Like, I'm ready
yeah,
for this season to be
it's
over,
a
bro.
drag. It's a drag once you're out of it, man, and watching other
Yes,
teams
bro.
play for it.
I'm ready for the season to be over, bro. Like, I'm ready. I'm over it.
Yeah, man. So we did interview a guy, Thomas Brown. He is from Sean McVay's coaching tree,
Mm.
right? So, and just to give you a little bit of background from him, he is a former running back. He played football at Georgia. The past 2 seasons, he was the assistant head coach with Sean McVay, and he was on the Super Bowl team. So, what do you feel? How do you feel about bringing him over to be the offensive coordinator, especially if he is somebody that will implement, like the Sean McVay system that he run, which is the stretch run with the play action based off of that.
Well, Sean McVay's still young, so he stole his system from somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, he not old enough. He not really old enough to have a system. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't stole his system from somebody. So, and I will say this, you know, I'm an OB. I'm down for the passing portion of it, because one thing I like about Sean McVay is he's one of the few offensive coordinators. Go look at his wide receivers, man. They're always wide open. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like, I'm gonna tell you, like, the reason why our wide receivers have always had to have really good separation, and why you guys know the exact separation of wide receivers for the Dallas Cowboys, is because you always have had to. You know what I'm saying? Like, because your offensive coordinator wasn't good enough to create plays that naturally create guys open. Like,
Mm-hmm.
to be successful in a Cowboy offense, like your ass really had to know how to run routes. And that's why
Hey, West Coast, I think you're breaking up. Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit, Kinfolk.
Hold on. Let me try this now. Is it better?
It's getting a little bit better. I think he finna click out and click back on. So give him a second while he sort out the technical difficulties, and West Coast will be right back to rock with us. Let's see. All right. But yeah, I think I touched on my feelings about him, about Thomas, because really what I really like about their entire offense is they have like the big plays, right? They have like the big shot plays down the field. Like West Coast will talk about, their system does get wide receivers wide the hell open most of the time, right? But what a lot of people be forgetting about is like it was in that system that Todd Gurley became a monster. Like Todd Gurley was having monster seasons as a running back in that same exact system. Because they are very like they didn't have as much success they would want to. West Coast, you back in here? We'll try again in just a second. But yeah, like they didn't have like the running back talent to produce another Todd Gurley. Like once he had to leave with the knee issues and stuff. But like when he was healthy and when they had a good running back, like he was featured in that offense. Like Todd Gurley was getting hella yards and hella rushing touchdowns in that offense. So that's why I wouldn't mind having that, because we're running the damn ball. You see, I got this hat on right now. Like there were a lot of people don't. Hey, West Coast, you back, brother?
I am. What to do, man?
All right. So yeah, we were talking about
I had to
Thomas
do it.
Brown.
I had to do what Carrie Lee used to tell us: sit our narrow tail down somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
I know that's right, man. So yeah, but I was just touching on like, man, like people always talk about the passing, like the big plays in Sean McVay's offense, but people forget like how run oriented that offense is. Like I know it slowed down a little bit when Todd Gurley was no longer on the roster, but like the bread and butter of that offense is the stretch run play.
I mean, he 264 yards to put us out the playoffs.
Exactly. So like, yeah, so like this is that is an offense that even when the passing game or the quarterback is not playing well, you can still win with, predicated on their ability to run the ball down your throat. But like West Coast pointed out, they had almost 300 yards of rushing offense against us. Jared Goff did not throw a single touchdown that game, and they still managed to beat us by 8 points.
Sure is.
So having somebody out there that can bring that in.
And on the final play of the game, I remember Curlin Moore had Noah Brown trying to block goddamn and Dominican Sue.
I remember that.
He was on the edge playing like a tight end, a tucked in tight end. They had him motion over. Everybody in the stadium knew who was getting the ball. Zeke. It did not get it.
Darren says it's been 7
Yeah, I
years.
cried that night.
How long should you wait for greatness? Well, since Drew Brees did not win a championship until year 9, and Peyton Manning did not win a championship until year 9, I'm gonna use that as a stopping point, right?
And y'all gotta stop with all this, the greatness and the glory and Dak might just be a guy, bro. Like, there's a whole bunch of guys that just win Super Bowls, bro. Nick Foles was a guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, Nick Foles won a Super Bowl and then literally went back to being a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally. Like, Dak might just be a guy. Like, it's all good. If he's just a guy, it's all good. He's still good enough for that guy. Like, he's a guy that's good enough to win 12 games in the NFL. That's ridiculous.
Right. Really 13, 'cause that's the most games he ever won in the season. So he's a guy that's good enough to win 13 games in the regular season. He's good enough to win a playoff game. He's good enough to win a road playoff game. These are things we know because they're what we saw Dak Prescott do.
What you want to hope is, like, people be like, okay, what percentage of like an offensive coordinator helps or hurts the quarterback? Somebody's going to be like me. I will say it's 60-40. I think it's 60% of the athlete and 40% of the coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't like calling people names because I'm trying to be better at 2023. But dummies will say it's like 10-90, 90%, 10%. It's 90% on the player, 10% on the coordinator, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, think about this. What if I tell you, okay, that's cool. That's a good number. I get it. You put 90% on the quarterback, 10% on the coordinator. All right. Well, what if I told you Dak's 90% is good enough to win 12 games and get you to the second round of the playoffs? And Kellen Moore's 10% is what lost. Is what lost. Because guess what? 10% is enough margin in a playoff game to lose. Like, ask the Chargers. Like, people don't give
Right.
up in the playoffs. Like, they don't give up because they
That
don't
is
know
true.
when they're coming back.
Mm-hmm. And I agree with that. Because listen, like I already in the West Coast, I gave them the numbers for with Kellen Moore and without Kellen Moore earlier, right?
They ain't trying to hear that, though.
Now I'm gonna
Listen
give
to me.
I'm gonna give it again because like people just act like I'm crazy,
I don't
but
know. I think Dak owe a couple people $30, man. Somebody Dak and y'all didn't let Dak borrow $40. You think he was gonna tell you he was gonna give it back? He never gave it back, and you is not letting it go.
so I got it right here. Dak Prescott without Kellen Moore, and this is really as crazy as it sounds. It's like equal. It's 3 seasons to 3 seasons because Dak Prescott missed 17 games with Kellen Moore, so it averaged out to a 3 season sample size for both of these. So Dak Prescott with 32-16 before Kellen Moore became the offensive coordinator. He was 11-11 against winning teams. He had 85 total touchdowns and 38 total turnovers, and a playoff victory, 2 Pro Bowl selections, and was Rookie of the Year.
And they brought
With,
in Kellen Moore to enhance that,
right, he was supposed to make that better.
make that
Instead,
better.
instead, Dak Prescott with Kellen Moore is 29-20 as a starting quarterback. He has 108 touchdowns to 53 turnovers. So while his touchdowns did increase, his turnover margin did increase as well. And his winning percentage against winning teams and overall decreased.
And you know what's crazy? Theoretically, with a running game, you don't need all those passing touchdowns. Like, go
Right.
look at Michael Irvin, bro. Michael Irvin didn't have no 20 touchdowns in a season, but not Zeke, but Emmitt Smith did.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
And
and
he still went to the Hall of Fame.
still went to the Hall of Fame. And listen, even look at Dak Prescott's rushing numbers. Dak Prescott had 18 rushing touchdowns in the 3 years alone before Kellen Moore got here. He has 8, since he's been his offensive coordinator. And you can't say because of injury, because
Do
in two
you have rushing attempts before Kellen and
they're down.
hmm?
They're down as well. Let me see if I can find it. I had those too, but I don't know if I can find it in this notebook anymore.
Oh, my
But
mama just ate some black eyed peas
oh,
with
that
some
sounds fire.
cornbread. With some ham hog in that mug.
Right. Yeah, that do sound good as hell. But yeah, just the
People are
point
like,
being,
people are
like
like,
he is
people, people are like, West Coast, how can you be so calm and relaxed? We just lost in the playoffs, but we lost in the second round of the playoffs. You got to be specific when you say that.
right, right.
Like, I'm
And
gonna
this
be
is the
honest
thing.
with you. Like, go ahead. Say your point, and I'm gonna say mine after you go ahead.
Nah, and this is the point though. Like people will be pointing out, well, this person went farther than this person, and whoopty woo, and
Like,
they
bro,
went
we went further than us.
right. And this is the thing. Like they be pointing that out. But you got to remember, like, there's only 4 quarterbacks that's won Super Bowl since Dak Prescott's been in the league. Tom Brady
Yeah,
won. Tom Brady won 4 Super Bowls. Nick Foles won one. Matthew Stafford won one, and Patrick Mahomes won one. And
hey, and
listen,
Henny, and think about this. What after losing to the 49ers by 6 points, who was the number 2 seed in the playoffs? What about that game makes you think that your team's going to be worse next year? Like,
Nothing.
I really want to ask fans because there are fans that think that. Like, I'm really curious. Like, if you're doing the math right now, the math says that you're going to win. You're going to get to the third round of the playoffs. Because listen, before there was math that said the Cowboys are going to be good one season and then bad the next. Good one season and bad the next. The reason was because we weren't signing free agents. We weren't re-signing people. You know, we weren't doing that. We had when you have a lot of turnover, that's why that happens.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you look in a like in a cell phone game, you see a store that always got people coming in and out. Guess what? Them numbers gonna be going up and down, up and down. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. That
So
makes sense.
so we had a lot of turnover too.
Yeah, and when you think about it, we have much better coaching at this point. And I like Jason Garrett. I think he got a little bit too much flack, but just seeing Mike McCarthy's ability to overcome, like the injuries that we had, like the issues, losing your starting quarterback. Like you remember, we used to lose Sean Lee, and we just knew we were gonna lose like 4 games. We didn't have no business losing.
Yeah, man. Can't listen to me. Can't nobody make me feel bad about losing in the second round of the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? When we lost in the first round last year. Can't nobody like bro, like I'm a coach. I can't like as a football coach cannot deny growth, even if it's minuscule. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Everybody don't grow like freaking like algae. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody don't grow like that. Like some kids, you literally are gonna have to like you're not gonna see any results until like the last game of the season, and you're like, oh my God, I never knew you had that in them. But then guess what? Now they're at that level and now they won't come down off of it either. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, like listen to me, Cowboy Nation, you guys wanted your team to get better. They did. You know what I'm saying? We can't like and listen to me. I contradict myself all the time because I'm about to contradict myself right now. And when I tell you guys that like we can't we want to win a championship every single year, but when your team shows growth, you can't punish them for not winning the championship and not reward them for the growth. Like Mike McCarthy did something, bro, that I've seen first, bro. I have realistically never felt this way after a season because you got to remember I haven't won a Super Bowl. So we didn't win a Super Bowl since I was what 12. You know what I'm saying? So
Spend some
as an
time, yes.
adult, yeah, as an adult, bro, this is the most like um optimistic, like positively optimistic I've ever felt in my life about my team. So it's like, you
Right.
know what I mean? Like, and I'm Mr. like keep it real all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I feel optimistic, bro. Like, because I literally feel like just by taking Kellen Moore off this team has actually gotten better.
Hmm. And I think it's the first time in a long time their addition by subtraction shit is actually going to work in our favor.
Come on, so what?
I said I think it's the first time in a long time that addition by subtraction shit they be trying is going to work in our favor.
Oh yeah, it's gonna work in our favor. And you know what the cool thing about the game is? Kellen Moore, oh goofy ass man, he could have actually worked in Dallas, bruh. But I feel like because listen, Kellen Moore only had about 10% bad in him. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Nah, he about 25%. He had about 25% bad in him.
Hmm.
But it's like the bad in him, if he could have just listened to someone else or took in maybe like advice from someone else, we could have glazed over it, bro. I see offensive coordinators do dumb stuff all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like all the time. Sean McVay, as smart as he is, I have literally seen him do stuff where I'd be like, why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? I remember I made a video. I forget exactly what the play was, but Sean McVay did something in a Rams game, and I literally made a video about it. And I was like, "Yo, man, like, my bad, Kellen Moore. Like, I thought you were the only person doing that, but I guess everybody does. Like, every offensive coordinator in the middle of the game just says, "F it. I want to prove to the world that it's me and not the guy throwing the ball." So they all kind of have their moments, but the thing about Kellen Moore, which I think got him out of here, is like, because you got to think, bro, like he literally went from one job to the next job. He went from Lowe's to Home Depot. doing the same job for the same pay. And realistically, nobody can convince me that the LA Chargers, who do not have their own stadium, mind you, do not have their own stadium,
share with the Rams,
share with the Rams, are paying more money than Jerry Jones. Slap yourself, be true. That is not even, I don't even want to believe it. The
right?
reason why you're going over there to LA is because they don't believe in what you're doing over here in Dallas anymore, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? If you had the job because of belief, that means you didn't have substance or you didn't have production in the first place. So guess what? I'm sorry, but I gotta toot my horn.
Yeah.
West Coast was right all along on that, boy. I was right all along.
And let's double down on it. Like Darren Lewis said, Kellen Moore was Dak Prescott's backup and became his
Right.
offensive coordinator. So, like, what kind of relationship was that like? Because Kellen Moore is like older, but he's still like the little bro.
He older, but he's still like a little bro. Yeah,
So,
that's like I praise God that my older son is bigger than my little son, so that everything's cool. You know what I mean? Like, because that's a weird dynamic. That would be a weird dynamics. Like when the little brother, like my little brother is ridiculously bigger than me, but I'm also 10 years older than him. So we didn't, it was different growing up. My sons are 2 years apart, but
mhm.
like, yeah, that would definitely be weird. But you know, Dak Prescott, man. You got to remember how he got his job. He got his first job in high school. Some kid, some little lonesome kid, who
Got
who
injured.
thought got injured, and Dak took his job. Then the same thing happened in college. Like Dak has always been Mr. Steal Your Job. You know what I'm saying? So he's always
Mhm.
had a really good relationship, and obviously that's a guy that that's a guy that he's really good relationships. You can tell he's really really good at building relationships and having friendships with people and coming
Yeah.
off very genuine.
But
So it's like,
like Dak Prescott seems like bad luck for whoever he's around. Like shit doesn't happen
well,
to Dak, but
he's bad luck for he's bad luck for the starter. He's
yeah,
bad
like
luck for the starter. Like
like
if Dak is on my roster, he need to be if Dak is on my roster, he gonna be number 3 or he gonna be number 1. But he damn sure ain't gonna be number 2 because you ain't gonna be behind me.
nah, for real.
They
But
gonna
nah,
list you as number 1 or number 3.
you're not even safe in number 3 because he was behind Kellen Moore and Kellen Moore broke his leg too.
That ain't broke his ankle. That was even
Yeah.
worse.
I'm like,
I
God
ain't gonna
damn.
lie. I'm pretty sure that was pretty painful.
Like man, like final destination stuff be happening when Dak Prescott's in the quarterback room.
I know, and y'all want to like, Brad, like it took 3. Like my boy Barry over at Oates wrote a article where it was like he said something like it took a broken clavicle, it took a broken collarbone and a broken ankle for Dak to start his first game in the NFL.
Mhm.
Like think about that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, one thing I also do kind of like about, because Dak gets a lot of scrutiny and he gets a lot of high expectations that like other guys don't. But it's like one thing we got to understand is like I don't have the expectations of my sons to keep the room clean. I just don't, bro. Like I don't even get mad when it looks like it looks right now currently. Like I don't even get mad. I just push everything in the door and close the door. You know what I'm saying? Like literally. Now my daughter, my oldest daughter, when she come home, bro, I'm flipping, bro. I'm flipping, bro. I'm
Mhm.
flipping. You know what
Different
I'm saying?
expectations.
Because there's a higher expectation.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think that's like, you know, I think that's like the one of the biggest things I think Cowboy fans as a whole, we all gotta, that I know that's one of the messages I'm gonna be pushing 2023 is we gonna have realistic expectations around here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you this right now, Henny. A realistic expectation for the Dallas Cowboys is to go to the think about this. Theoretically, you could really tell Mike McCarthy if you don't make it to the NFC Championship game, you are going backwards.
You are, and that's
So
my
why
thought
would you want to
process.
fire that dude?
Mhm.
Folks was tripping, bro.
All
I
right, that's
understand what leverage means. The word leverage is a great thing to have. Go ahead, Henny.
Nah, that's my thought process because he's improved every year. Year one, went 6-10, missed the playoffs by a game with Dak Prescott injured. Year two, he won 12 games, made the playoffs, lost in the wild card. Year three, won 12 games, won in the wild card on the road and lost in the divisional. So, like you
Yeah.
said, like every year they've been better than the year before. So you never know. Year 4, they might make the leap. They might exceed expectations and get into Super Bowl. Because you were only 2 games out of the Super Bowl this year. It's not like you were. It's not like you missed the playoffs. Like you just needed two more wins to make the Super Bowl. And if you are able to win your division, you might only have to win one damn game to get into the NFC Championship game this year
Yeah.
coming up.
And I'm gonna tell y'all something too, right? I gotta put y'all up on some history, right? Because I'm only 40, but I still, I got Google, y'all. I don't know if I heard of Google, but I got Google, y'all. If you don't know something, you type it in Google, and it tell you something, right? And I'm thinking here, right? My mama told me she been saying America's team for almost 50 years. Something. I'm thinking, well, damn, how is that possible? Well, how is not 50 years? She said like 35, 40 years. I'm like, how is that possible? If you've been saying that long, if we was winning triplets in the 90s. And you know what I realized, bruh? The Dallas Cowboys got America's team title in the 70s, bruh. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we've been America's team regardless of winning or losing, fam. And that's what makes us America's team. Because America don't think about this. America ain't even won every war we didn't been in. You know what I'm saying? You go ask the Vietnam vet what happened in Vietnam. They get real hazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't won everything that we'd have been a part of. So it's like, I don't think America's team hasn't it's not about the winning when they call us America's team. I think it's about the rebel nature of America. Like, we were born as a rebel nation. We left, y'all know your history. We left England and got on the Mayfeather. We were, some of us, we took other routes. You know what I'm saying?
Happy Black History Month.
Yeah, everybody. Hey, it's February 2nd. We can be real, bro. Let's just say some of us took other routes. You feel me? But moral of the story is we all got here. You know what I'm saying? But it's like that's what America. It's not like the winning and losing has nothing to do with America's team. Like, I mean, with that personification, America's team has to do with how we are viewed. Like, if you like, I'm prior military, man. There's 2 emblems that you can literally walk anywhere in the world and people will know what they are. One is the American Eagle, and 2 is the Dallas Cowboy Star.
Mm.
They know what that is, bro. Any place in the world, bro. And I would probably say the Nike swoosh is up there. The Nike and the Jordan swoosh is up there now.
Mm-hmm.
But bro, them is iconic, bro. So it's like that's why I say, like, that's just, that's when people say America's team, that's what they're really saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. When the Cowboys was in the second round of the playoffs, I ain't never seen so many. And there's a lot of Cowboy jerseys out here, but man, them Cowboy jerseys was flowing, bro. I said, damn, I done known you 40 years. You ain't never had a Cowboy jersey on, but it's all good. Come on over,
He said 40 years.
bro. Let's just think about this, bro. If when the Dallas Cowboys win a Super Bowl, it is probably gonna be economy wise, probably the best thing that ever happened to America, bro. Like, it's gonna be the best thing, bro. Like there's gonna be it's gonna be ridiculous, bro. Like, imagine you see what happens when these other teams win. How it like the Lakers kind of have that effect. They're a team that can win a championship, and it's almost felt throughout the whole entire United States, bro. The Dallas Cowboys win or lose, bro. And then think about this, bro. You win a Super Bowl, every away game that you go to last year is gonna be their highest sold out game. Like the Tennessee Titans, bro. We saved their whole season, bro. Just by
We
going out
did.
there and playing. We literally saved their whole financial season. Like, that was the only game they sold out. So it's like, that's why I say, like, that's what went like, and just be real, Henny. This year, I can guarantee you, we will be the first team playing on preseason, and we will be the first team playing on the first night in football.
I can pretty much guarantee it. And then, like, they got so many different storylines they can hit us with. They can schedule the 49ers for us opening night. If the Eagles mess around and win, they can schedule them as our opening opponent. Like,
The Chargers.
The Chargers with Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore.
Homecoming. So like Dallas and their
Do we
storyline
play the Denver
sell.
Broncos? Oh, we don't play it. Please don't tell me we don't play the Denver Broncos this year, do we?
I don't believe so. No.
I hope not.
I'll take a quick look. Dallas Cowboys schedule. I don't believe they're on our schedule.
I know this. Y'all better be at that the Kellen Moore versus Dan Quinn game. I promise you this. I'm doing a push up for every point. Every point Kellen Moore score. I'm saying it right now. I'm doing a push up for every point he scored. Dan gonna have my back though. I ain't tripping. Dan gonna shut that boy out, bruh. I ask y'all a strict question right now. Kellen Moore versus Dan Quinn. Kellen Moore's Chargers offense versus Dallas Cowboys defense. How many points Dan Quinn score? I mean, how many points Kellen Moore score?
You said it right. You said it right the first time. That defense gonna score like 2 touchdowns to get Kellen Moore. They're gonna have like a pick six and a pump and a.
I bet you nobody. I bet you nobody say over 17.
No, they're not. They don't
like,
even.
I mean, it's late at night, so we can talk about whatever we're talking about. So Kellen Moore, listen, man, he gave us 4 years of hell. He could take this 45 minutes of hell back. Listen to me. He got some rough days coming up to him too, man. Because like, bruh, you gonna have to make that offense better than a consistent offense. Like the Chiefs are consistent, bruh. You could only score 9 points. You're gonna have to go to Kansas City one time a year, and it'll probably be snowing. Hey, I hate for someone to be bored enough to do the numbers on Kellen Moore when he play outside in bad weather, because I know them games probably look grimy in the mug too. They look grimy in the mug too. You know what I mean?
I know, right? And then they definitely ain't gonna be up to par with that, because look, that Herbert played at Oregon. He ain't playing no snow like that. He played at Oregon. Then he playing in Los Angeles right now.
Yeah, and then I mean, what if the Raiders do make a big splash and go get like an Aaron Rodgers, bruh? Like, Kellen Moore gonna be it, but you know what? I think it's best for him. He need to be an offensive coordinator for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He needs to, because he needs to learn some basic principles. Like, there's some things about Kellen Moore's game. That's why I just think a lot of his stuff is just arrogance. Because, like, bro, how can you have an Amari Cooper on the team and not want to throw it to him? Like, what?
And throw it and not want to throw it at him to the point where who don't even talk. I didn't know what this fool sounded like until Kellen Moore made him mad.
Like, think about this. Amari Cooper literally was a mute, came to Dallas, talked too much, went back to Cleveland, went back to a mute.
Like this boy don't even talk. And like he got to talk to the point where he got shipped off the team.
He was talking too much. Like, how did the shy guy get fired for talking too much?
Why is everybody up Kellen Moore's ass in LA like he's the greatest thing ever? Well, somebody pointed out to me. They said, look, I understand how y'all feel about Kellen Moore, but they said in comparison to what they had, they said they would take Kellen Moore. I'm like, all right, you say that right now. You say that right now, and I get it. Like when it's sort of like with us with Kellen Moore. It's like and to be fair to Kellen Moore, he's still like a top 10, top 11 offensive coordinator in football, right? I will say that.
I don't know, because you got to see Kellen Moore without superior talent, bro. Like,
you still won't see him without superior talent. He's going to play with Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. Like, they got weapons over there, so you'll never see Kellen Moore without superior talent.
But bro, listen to me. They don't have with the Dallas Cowboys. They have a top paid quarterback in Dak Prescott. They have a top paid running back in Ezekiel Elliott. You have probably the best free agent running back in Tony Pollard. You had Amari Cooper, bruh. You had Cedric Wilson, who got paid. You had freaking Cedric Wilson. You had Michael Gallup, who got paid, bro. Then you had 3 first rounders on the offensive line. No, he'll never have that.
Well, I said they still got some damn good talent over there.
But and think about this, bro. Think about this, Henny. He had guys in their prime, bruh.
That is true too.
Like, I'm to be honest with you, bro. If I was Jerry Jones, I'd sue his ass, bro. I would literally at least, even if they said I couldn't sue him, I'd try. I would sue him, bro.
Well, this is the thing. You can't sue Kellen Moore when when Jerry Jones is the one that gave him the job with no hit, no
No,
offensive
no,
coordinator.
bro. I live in California, and we can sue for anything. We
Well,
can. We just got to be creative.
I
We
see
know.
I see y'all can sue porn stars, so like, so I know
Yeah,
that like y'all got some ways around stuff. So.
yeah, bro. Like for real. Like no, no. I'm want. I need because, bro. He literally took like investments. Think about this, bro. Like 1 year removed. And I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. Amari Cooper. I know I'm bouncing around, but it's late. Amari Cooper is like the reason why I don't want the Cowboys to get rid of Zeke, right? Because, bruh, you get rid of Amari Cooper. Like, bro, what if they was like, you know what? We don't like Cooper, but we're at least going to give him 1 more year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, you made these wholesale changes because of an offensive coordinator who's not even here no more, bruh. And think about this. Amari Cooper will be a $20 million receiver right now. You know what I'm saying? And probably even cheaper because he restructured.
He
Everybody
restructured with
restructured,
them.
bruh.
Yeah,
And
he
I'm going to tell
restructured with
y'all,
them. They definitely would have did it for us.
yes, and I'm gonna tell y'all this right here. Players will restructure. Wanna know why? Because they get the money that day. Like when you get a restructure, they're gonna give you that money right then so they don't have to count it on the cap. So you're gonna get paid that day. When Amari Cooper restructured, he got $15 million that day. Why wouldn't he want that? Tell me why. Explain to me why Amari Cooper would feel that it's best for him to wait.
He wouldn't.
Before Amari Cooper had a place to stay, he restructured his contract, bro.
Real shit.
And then I'm gonna tell you, like, this is something else the Cowboys got to do year on year, bro. We really have to fix our problems. Like, we got to stop this band-aiding stuff. Like, realistically, I bet you could find a draft video from 2016 of me saying the needs, and I bet you if you go right now, if you just move one or here or there, they're the exact same needs.
I'm gonna say the only need that we addressed was safety. Because we needed a safety for like 50 years. And I think it just recently got done. But we needed a defensive tackle since 2016. We needed offensive line depth since 2017, probably, after we lost Ron Leary. So,
Oh
like,
my God. You know what? Man, that's an article, bruh. People that we never replaced. You know what I'm saying?
you're right. And we never replaced Ron Leary. We're technically still trying to replace Ron Leary.
Yeah. Hey, you know who else was a blow too that we didn't really think about that we lost but I mean we recouped him now, but freaking Doug Free, bro.
Doug Free, and to an extent, like I think we just now might have had something with Biotis, but I was skeptical of him replacing Travis
Yeah, but you
Frederick.
know the Cowboys screwed themselves with the center position because the starting center for the Dallas Cowboys should have been Joe Looney, but for whatever reason they didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? When Joe Looney came because Joe Looney he was the starting center that 2018 when we made that run to the playoffs. Joe
Yes, he
Looney
was.
only gave up one sack. Now when Travis Frederick came back, the Dallas Cowboys gifted him his job back and basically just didn't even really re-sign Joe Looney. And then Joe Looney went over and signed with the Giants and then ended
And
up
then
retiring.
yeah, instantly retired instead of playing for the Giants.
Yeah, and instantly retired. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then think about this: Travis Frederick kind of screwed you because he only played 1 year and then his ass retired. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, Cowboys, I mean, Tyler Baez. But I'm gonna tell you something too, though. The Cowboys, even though he kind of took his time, the Cowboys never drafted nobody like behind him either, too. So like they just felt since he was from Wisconsin from the beginning that he was going to be the man.
Oh, hey, that brings up an even better point because like Jared Jones, if you looked at his interview, he talked about how he didn't, regret releasing Amari Cooper, but at the same breath, he said he also put too much on Jalen Tolbert and Michael Gallup. I like no shit, like you mismanaged that. Like, why did you
Yeah,
think a rookie court? Why would you think a rookie wide receiver and a wide receiver who was not healthy at all last year? Was going to come in and give you the production that Mark Cooper was going to give you.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, as a smart business move, never admit when you're wrong in public. I'm just be honest with you. So I don't don't blame the man for that. Because the internet is a very tricky place to be saying you was wrong. That's all I'm gonna say. But so I don't knock him on that. And technically, he was right about Amari Cooper. He was wrong about CeeDee Lamb. And this is what I mean. He was right that he could replace Amari Cooper because he did. What he was wrong about is you couldn't replace CeeDee Lamb, because when CeeDee Lamb went and replaced replaced Amari Cooper, your guy that you thought was going to replace Michael, because like theoretically, somebody should have had 1,000 yards this year. Somebody outside of CeeDee Lamb should have had 1,000 yards this year. Because you know what I mean, or at least should have had like 850, 900. You know what I mean? But we didn't even have that.
I think we like 500 yards for the next guy.
Bro, we like 500 yards. The numbers say that we didn't even have a number two. The numbers say we had CeeDee Lamb and then whoever could get open between three other dudes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I know people want to get on my. And I'm gonna tell y'all this right now, man. Ooh. Another thing, why you look that up, man, y'all need to leave my boy Dalton Schultz alone, bro. Like Dalton Schultz cannot help that he is not Wilder or whatever that dude is. He wants to be the dude from the Raiders. He wants to be Kettle. He wants to be all these guys that y'all love. Dalton Schultz, I talked to him. He wants to be him, but he can't because that's not him, bro. But he is a really good him. Like, you get what I mean? Like, and think about this, bro. Dalton Schultz, a guy who did not trip on getting franchise tag. And what's the franchise tag on a tight end for a second year?
Oh, that's a good question.
Well, you only got one franchise tag.
Right. So let me see. Dalton Schultz franchise.
I ain't gonna lie, cuz I low-key changed my opinion on franchise tag and Tony Pollard.
Yeah, what you feel about that? Talk to me real quick.
I feel like this. If I'm not mistaken, Michael Gallup made $16 million last year. How much money Michael Gallup made?
Michael Gallup made $11 million last year.
Yeah, but with signing bonus. I think he got a $6 million signing bonus.
Oh, you talking about all together?
Hell yeah, because I had to pay all of it.
Okay.
Because hey, you feel me? Because think about this. Even though only 11 million counted against the cap, Jerry still wrote him a check for 16 million.
Let's take a look, my guy. All right, so this was the first year. Okay. Well, this is not as bad as I thought. The base salary was $2 million. The prorated bonus was $2 million. And then the per game roster bonus was $1 million. So he actually made $4.8 million last year. And this is when it gets crazy, though. He is going to make $13.8 million next year.
This year, you mean? This year he's playing.
2023, yes.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's the point I was making. So think about this. So last year you gave him $5 million. This year he's set to make 13. Do we really think that? I don't think that no matter how much Michael Gallup try, I don't think he's going to be a $13 million receiver. But I'm not going to cut him. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to cut him. I'm not going to restructure him. So it's like, if I'm okay with paying that to him, I shouldn't have no problem with paying that to Tony Pollard. You know what I'm saying? And you really got to look at where are you most safe at? Are you most safe at eating $10 million if he isn't the guy you think he is? Or do you want to have to eat maybe like $15-20 million, you know what I'm saying, next year when you realize, damn, he's not the guy we are, and we got to wait 2 years before we can do anything.
Right. And you were completely
correct. Gone. No. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like in the case of Michael Gallup, like you were saying, like it would be a $13 million, dead money to cut him next year. So like you don't do that. But if he doesn't pan out after that year, you could save $9.5 million by cutting them the year after. But giving these guys a chance, you know, you need to at least give them a chance to see what they can do, especially since they're going to be in a different system.
Yeah, and I mean, theoretically, bro, since I'm signing a player who is injured, I am taking a chance regardless. So really, it's really about minimizing my risk. Like, what move can I make to have me the least most extended? You know what I'm saying? Past what I want to be. So I think right now, I think he's a franchise. Unless they got a market for him. But if I'm Tony Pollard, bro, I honestly think the franchise tag probably the most I'm gonna get, bro. I don't see it. I don't see Cowboys. I don't see a team giving you $10 million to do what you do. And then I think Tony Pollard can beat Alvin Kamara, but he has to show it first. Like Alvin Kamara's already shown that he can do that. You know what I'm saying? I believe Tony Pollard can do that though. I believe he can do all that Debo stuff. But see, Kellen Moore kind of burned him. You know what I'm saying? Like Kellen Moore literally turned his ass into a running back. In the 1 year where he needed to look like a running back and a receiver. Because remember, we were saying at the beginning of the season, like, everybody's like, oh, Tony Pollard's going to get the bag. I'm like, no, because they're going to give him 800 yards rushing and like 600 yards receiving. And it's going to be just enough for him not to really get paid because there's no position in that.
True. But remember, they were trying not to pay Debo Samuels at the 1,400-yard receiving season, and he had all that shit on the ground. So, like, Debo Samuels damn near didn't get paid what he wanted. You know, he had to have a contract dispute with his team. And he was an All-Pro. He didn't just make a Pro Bowl or nothing small like that. He was an All-Pro player. So, you know, like when you think about how people value the running back position, that's why there's so many good running backs going to be on the open market right now. Josh Jacobs is on the open market. He just rushed for 1,600 yards. You know, Jamal Williams just rushed for 17 rushing touchdowns. He's going to be a free agent. Tony Pollard is a free agent. We did not, you know, give him an extension before his contract was up. He's free to hit the open market. And that pretty much shows you what they think about the running back position as a whole anyway.
And that's why also you're not. So I want people to shut up talking about trade for Zeke.
Like, there's no market for trading
There's
Zeke.
no market, bro. Why would you trade Zeke when there's the best almost every running back is probably going to be available. And I'm going to keep it real with you. What's up with Derrick Henry? His ass might be available.
Right. Okay, listen, like the league leading rusher is available in free agency right now.
Right now.
And you have to
right
give up.
now.
You have no draft capital you have to give up to get him. So like there is going to be no market for Ezekiel Elliott.
And think about this. Zeke's contract, you're already going to be playing at least $10 million. So it's like if you're okay with paying $10 million a year for a running back, get Josh Jacobs.
No, for
it
real.
makes sense.
Yeah, like if you're gonna get rid of Ezekiel Elliott, like bring in the best receiver available. I mean the best running back available. But you know, like there's not a market. We can't realistically trade Ezekiel Elliott for a draft pick. What, a 7th round pick? Because they're gonna have to take on the contract and all that other type of craziness. There's like it's not even possible. It's not smart. There might be a dummy out there that would give up something to get a running back, but there's all these guys free. But no, I don't see it happening.
It wouldn't make sense to go get Ezekiel Elliott.
Nah, like they wouldn't even let you make that trade on Madden. How bad of a trade it would be. Like you don't see dude out there right now.
Yeah. And keep it as kind as it's quick. You know, the NFL don't even view Josh Jacobs like they view Ezekiel Elliott, even though he's the league leader.
They don't.
So they don't even view him like that. So, you know, you would probably, you know, Zeke is still the bigger name because at the end of the day, I know we don't care about this, but the fan base, you know, these owners, they actually care about how these dudes be selling jerseys and stuff like that. Josh Jacobs, leading rusher. Not Josh Jacob. And then the year before, you had that boy Taylor. And guess what? Nobody really cared, bro.
At all.
I remember, but I tell you this: when Zeke is rolling, the people who love Zeke, you know what they wear? Cowboy jerseys. But when Zeke is rolling, hey, listen to me. And guess what? And listen to me. Watch this trick question. And the people who hate Zeke, when he's rolling and he's on their fantasy team, what jersey they run?
21.
No, let me tell you what they run. They
What?
rock that Buckeyes jersey, number 15.
Oh, there.
That's how you can always tell a non-Cowboy fan who likes Zeke, because they'll have that Buckeyes jersey on.
Tyreek Young said his Eagles are going to sign Josh Jacobs. It's already a done deal. So y'all gonna let? Hey, let me ask you, gonna let Miles Sanders walk, man? Y'all don't like Miles Sanders like that?
I mean, if I'm gonna keep it real with you, if you want to run it back that bad, you wouldn't want to do that. You would just want to draft the kid out of Texas with the 10th overall pick. That's a better one.
Yeah.
Because
Then
you get you
hey,
and you get 5 years on the contract.
and then you could control his contract for 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah. Listen, the running back tag right now is only $10 million. It's still gonna be low as hell by the time he come up. So you can control him for his entire prime.
Yeah, if you want to run, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm gonna keep it real. If you want a running back, it really don't make sense to get a fair agent one or trade one. It makes sense to get him out the draft.
It'll be cheaper.
It'd be cheaper, and you got to think a running back. You're not. No offense, but bro, most of these dudes is not making it to their year 8 anyway. So it's like, you're like a Josh Jacobs. You probably got 3 good years of running, even though you're gonna have to give him a contract like you believe he got 5 years good of running. Even though the numbers don't really say he's even gonna run good like that for the next 5 years. Go ahead.
Tyreek said the Eagles wouldn't probably draft a running back in the first round. He said it is something that Howie doesn't do.
I mean, to be honest with you, it would make sense considering you guys were in the Super Bowl because you ran the ball 42 times. And think about this. I'm going to tell you why it makes sense, because your offense, man, I know the Eagles off. I know what the Eagles can do better than what the Eagles fan. That's cold that weather right there, man. But let me tell you this, man. I'm going to tell you why it makes sense, because if Howie can show the fan base that he can make the team good regardless of, because what you really want what the 49ers have, where they're literally being successful while not paying the highest position in all of sports. You know what I'm saying? These dudes got third string quarterbacks going in there playing at a high level because of what? Their system. But they're also invested in what? They have high end lower parts. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it almost makes sense for them to draft a running back, to have a good running back, because then that takes off some of the sting off of what you're going to have to do with Jalen Hurts. Because I'm going to tell you this right now, unless y'all just about to just drop some type of sex tape on this boy, but if Jalen Hurts, if this boy won a Super Bowl, you're going to have to 50-piece him. Like, I want to know, Eagles fans, explain to me how you don't give Jalen Hurts $50 million a year. And guess what? You know the crazy thing about it is, in you hearts of hearts, y'all know the motherfucker don't deserve it, but you gonna give it to him.
Any running back can run behind a good line. It's the same reason you guys shouldn't pay Zeke 10th overall going to the trenches. He said they want to build that line up, man.
Yeah, but see this. I'm gonna tell you this right now. No, a good offensive line still needs a good running back, because a good offensive line without a good running back is a waste. So that's not necessarily true. Ezekiel Elliott was a guy who ran behind a good offensive line. Go look at Ohio State. He had 4 first-round picks on that offensive line. You understand? Zeke was not good because of the offensive line, and the offensive line was not good. If that's the case, then you're basically saying that Emmitt Smith was nobody. The offensive line made him. No, they made each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, they played well with each other. So I don't believe that any running back can run behind a good offensive line. I don't believe that. Because you still got to hit holes, you still got to make cutbacks, you still got to read blocks, all types of stuff. I'm not one to believe that. Like, think about this: we put Joseph Randle behind our offensive line after DeMarco Murray. That shit not look the same. He only ran fast when he was running out of department stores.
Man, I forgot. Man, Cuz look like in this crazy house now.
Yeah, I know. Now what's crazy, fellow? Now that I said that, I feel bad about saying it. Now you made me feel all bad.
You ain't steal no draws. What you feel bad for?
No, he stole draws and cologne.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had to get that right.
And the crazy thing about it is, the motherfucker got caught. How do you get caught? You're an NFL running back.
Man, you ain't lying. That is a good question. See, you out there underachieving right there. Why his head got cut?
Hey, come on, cuz how you get caught? You're an NFL running back, bro.
Mm, mm, mm. Sad,
You know what I
sad,
mean?
sad, sad.
But shoot,
But
what other questions we got? Quick.
all right, let me open up my book again, Kinfo, because I had a couple of them. You know, it's getting later, so you know, like hell, the little brain cells I have, they be fighting each other at this time of night.
Shoot, man, if you're ready to call it
Let's
tonight,
see.
let me know.
Nah, not quite yet, man. Not quite yet. You know, I enjoy having your company as we talk to these good people about these Dallas Cowboys. Okay, because we talked about the possibility of adding Buddy, Brian Schottenheimer. Because then, oh wait, hold on. Ezekiel Elliott is going to be a Dallas Cowboy next year. I know we were talking about it, but you know they said that they want him back. That is what Jerry Jones said, that they want him back, and Stephen Jones also echoed that sentiment
When they say that?
today when they were talking about everybody else under the sun. Like, this is where I got most of this content from. Like, the shit about Dak Prescott getting an extension, it came straight from there. Them talking about Amari Cooper not regretting it came straight from their interview. So like this is another topic they talked about. They said they wanted to bring back Ezekiel Elliott, and you know they wanted to work something out for him to be a Cowboy. How do you feel about that? Go, because I know that you are Captain Run the Damn
Yeah.
Ball, and I know you love Zeke.
Well, I mean, that just lets you know. I mean, I broke the story on Law Nation when me and Law Nation went way last when they tried to pull that. Oh, Zeke said he wanted to take a less contract. I told the nation then. I said, man, that's fake news, bro. Zeke ain't say that. Zeke know better. Zeke know better than to say that. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's true, Zeke is smart enough to know not to say that, because the only person that he listen to me. And the reason I say it is because like he don't have to say it, because the only person he had to tell is Jerry Jones. He ain't got to tell us because we're not the ones paying him. You know what I'm saying? So why does it matter if we know? Zeke could take less money and nobody know and still help Jerry Jones out. You get what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, and if I was Jerry Jones, that's what I would do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it's public notice, but we can always make it seem like he didn't take less money, but he did. So I mean, I like the confidence. I also like the optimism behind it. It makes me feel like Jerry Jones wants to see the same thing, that is Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott without Kellen Moore. You know what I'm saying? Like we got, and I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, I'm not gonna go back on the Kellen Moore thing, but like they chose Kellen Moore on non-footballs, not off of what they thought he could do. So someone had faith in what he could do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they're not going off of faith no more, bro. They want to know for sure what they can and what they can't get. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it makes sense to keep everything the same, bro. Like it makes too much sense to keep everything the same. Try to get Ezekiel Elliott. Like they're gonna touch his contract. I already know they is, and I think Zeke will. One thing about Zeke that I love is he made a whole lot of money at the beginning of his career, so it allows him to have options. So even though the Cowboys saying that he's gonna be here long term, the fact that they're talking about his contract lets me know that they are talking about his contract. You know what I'm saying? They are talking about it. You know what I'm saying? But I think they just kind of put out a vote. Like, things are different, bro. Like, things are different, bro. Things are different. Because Jerry Jones would never come out and tell a guy who thinks he's about to be off the team, who he doesn't have a contract, who he's currently in negotiations with, oh yeah, we want him here. Now they ain't
Mm-hmm.
said that about Trevon Diggs though. That's kind of funny to me.
Well, see, this is the thing. Trayvon Diggs is still under contract technically. He's not like he's a free agent. They're just gonna make him look bad as long as they can before they have to pay the piper. The general Cowboy thing to do. But they dragged Ezekiel Elliott, they dragged Dak Prescott, they dragged Dez Bryant. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, they probably the ones that had the rumor about Dez Bryant having the tape of him stopping his mama. right? Because like I never seen no damn tape.
The Walmart tape.
Yeah, the Walmart tape that allegedly exists that nobody has ever seen. Like no shit like that in this age would stay hidden this long, right?
Hey, that's
So
that. That's that real. Because hey, listen to me. When that type of stuff happened, I wasn't even blogging then, bro. I was just a nosy ass Cowboy fan, bro. like, like that's that nosy ass Cowboy fan stuff, bro. I wasn't even a blogger then. Like, that's just nosy Cowboy fan stuff.
right. So like with stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Like it's on brand for the Dallas Cowboys with anybody they're in contract talks with, like make them public enemy number one, see that they can get, a discount. And it never actually works out because they still always end up paying the market value or paying over the price, like in terms of Dak Prescott, because they waited 2 damn years, right? Because they always end up in a bidding war against themselves for a player they could have had cheaper or sooner. And you didn't have to strain the relationship because you damn sure strain the relationship every time you do this.
Hey, can I ask you a question? You feel like doing some math real quick?
Sure.
Okay. Look up how much Dak has made over his go over his career so as of today.
Okay, it's cool. Career earnings. Boom. Okay. Boom. Oh, here you go. Career earnings.
Like actual take home. Sport tech does it
I don't know how you knew I was there already.
because that's the only side that do it. Really, the way the really the like you know what I mean, like you know what I mean, like the real shooters get their guns from the same spot. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay. So Dak Prescott has made at this point $131.3 million over the course of 7 seasons.
okay,
However,
divide that by 7.
okay, I got you. Give me 2 seconds. $18 million a year.
So think about this. On average, when it's all said and done, right now, if the Cowboys were to cut Dak and cut their ties, they've only been paying on average $18 million a year. And the cool thing about the game is Dak Prescott has never played less than an $18 million quarterback. So the Cowboys have had a discount on Dak forever. Bro,
Right.
Dak was a rookie of the year, bro. A rookie of the year is equivalent to an all pro. You know what I'm saying? That's equivalent to an all pro.
And you know what's even crazier, Ken folk? Like he made $131 million, and 126.4 of it came in the last 3 years. Because
Yeah, I know.
remember,
So that's what I'm saying. People be trying to talk about Dak money, like, bro, like Dak
he
Dak is
paid for
like
free for like 4 years.
exactly. Exactly.
Because listen, in 2016 he made 1 million. He made $1 million. 2017 he did not even make $1 million. It was like 900,000. 2018 Dak Prescott made $630 million. Then
Six
two,
hundred thirty thousand.
yeah, 600. He made $630,000. Right. That is, there are people working 9 to 5 jobs that make more. That make more than that a year. Right. Then in 2019 he got paid $2 million. Like he made nothing on that rookie contract. So like the things that that other teams do, like put a Debo Samuel on your
I mean,
team, or
what do right now? What has Justin Herbert made? What has he made up to now? He's
let's
just on
take
his rookie deal. You know what? An even better one. Don't even do Justin Herbert. Do Matthew Stafford in his first 7 years.
let's take a look.
What had Detroit invested in him already?
A lot more. You go look. Oops, I need to go to this sports staff contract. Boom. Let's get it. And there you go, Sport Track. Career earnings. Boom. All right. Damn. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So let me do the math on this because this is crazy. All right, so that's 3 plus 26 plus 9 plus 11 plus 18 plus 15 plus 9. So I rounded down, and he still made $91 million in his first 7 years. And you got to think about it. In the 2010 season alone, like he received $26.9 million.
So that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying, bro. Like when it's all said and done, the Cowboys cannot lose on that. Like they got such a good deal on him at the beginning that like you can almost not lose on him.
Mm-hmm. That is so true. Cause look, and it's not like they did like I was saying. It's not like while he was making peanuts, and not like they went out and made a super team around him. Like they took away Dez Bryant and his other receivers in 2018. And then they waited halfway through the season to bring Amari Cooper in. So like they were not even finna give Dak Prescott weapons at one point. So it's not like his paying him held anything back. They did not even go into the season with having Dak Prescott with weapons. Because he started the season throwing to Deontay Thompson, who after he got cut was immediately out the NFL for the rest of his life. So like I don't even get the narrative. Like they were not even trying to invest any money into Dak Prescott.
Yep, and that's why honestly, the only person I would even like Zeke, like Dak, you're gonna restructure him just because that's what you built the contract for. But like you've already saved so much money on having Dak as your quarterback.
Oh,
The
hey,
only
landlord in
problem
the
is
building. Landlord, what's good with you, kinfolk?
you just didn't freaking you just didn't win. You know what I mean? You didn't win.
Right.
But that's you. I mean, you can't blame the quarterback for that. Like to be honest with you, the Cowboys went. It's crazy that they won. Like they should have went all in on Dak when he was a rookie. It's that second year. That second year, the Cowboys should have said, "Oh snaps, Dak is only gonna make $600,000 this year. Say, bro, let's go buy everything."
Right. And they
Because
did nothing.
and think about that. That's what the Chiefs did.
Mm-hmm. Because listen, if you had did that when Ezekiel Elliott got suspended, you would have still won more. You would have won more of those games. Instead of going 3-3, you could have went 5-1 or 4-2, and you could have made the playoffs still. It could have been a different. It could have been a whole different scenario.
Bro, I knew the Cowboys was on some BS when they was threatening to suspend Zeke all season, and the only running back they brought in, and I love him to death because he's a man of God, but Alfred Morris.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that because they brought him back because he was on the team the year prior.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and listen, he was serviceable, but like you can't just go from Ezekiel Elliott production to Alfred Morris with a second-year quarterback and expect things were going to be okay when all you were doing was run-based. What it was a run-based offense.
Mm-hmm. Hey, before I get out of here, though, I'm gonna tell you something. A subject that we do need to talk about is this. Dak Prescott's history. As much as I love my boy, says that he gonna miss at least 2 to 3 games a season. What's up with you guys? So Cowboys need to find out what they want to do as far as a backup quarterback. Me personally, um, I don't. I mean, I think you need to get something that any at this point of Dak's career, you need to get a quarterback who can not necessarily threaten his job, but you want a guy that will stop you from having to extend him a third time. And that's just real.
Is
You know
it?
what I'm saying? Like,
That is real though, because you got to think
and
about
y'all and listen, we've been defending Dak for the last 2 hours. Now I'm trying to figure out a way to get him off the team.
it, right? And that's just the way the game goes though, because Dak Prescott is going to be 30 years old this year, right? He's had injuries the
He
past
may not even want
season,
to play to 40 years old. Like, who knows?
right? And listen, like Dak Prescott, he's going to be 30. Like, how much longer can Dak Prescott play at a top 10 level? Because you're mad at Dak Prescott for being a top 10 quarterback. If he ever dips to where he really is, like a Kirk Cousins or a number 16 quarterback or something like that, Like y'all show will have pitchforks and shit trying to run them out of town. So like you need to have somebody in place in case this play does dip to where y'all think he is. Dak has some
Yeah, because man,
because
because I'm gonna be because I love my boy Dak, but I'm gonna be sad the day he lose. Like, but I mean, the cool thing about Dak though, Kellen Moore had him throwing the ball so much that if Dak actually get with a good offensive coordinator, I think he might actually be able to do this pass heavy offense. And you limit some of them option routes and just let him throw the ball, I think Dak might be able to actually do it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well,
'Cause,
Darren Lewis. Oh no, but Darren Lewis, you're not extending Dak Prescott based off this one singular year. You're extending Dak Prescott based off of his entire body of work, and in his entire body of work, he is 61-36 as a starter. He is top 10 in league history in completion percentage. He is top 10 in league history in passer rating, and he is top 10 in league history in touchdown to interception ratio.
Facts.
And he also has half of the Dallas Cowboys playoff wins since the 1990s. So yes, you will extend Dak Prescott. That is just how
And think about this, Henny. And think about this. You wouldn't give Dak Prescott a 6-year contract off of 1 year of success, right? No,
of
you
course
wouldn't
not.
do that. So then why would you not pay him because of one? That has to go two ways. Like when you're giving someone a 4 or 5 year contract, it's based off of the 4 or 5 years worth of production you have on them. You know what I'm saying?
And as Dale pointed out, is also for cap purposes. It is also for cap purposes. So yes,
Yeah.
it makes sense to keep your best option at quarterback on the team at a friendlier, cap hit. Like that is smart football.
And motherfucker, you freaking made the contract to do this. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this was built into the contract for a reason. Why wouldn't you use it?
Right, because you already restructured his contract at one point and put the dead years on it, right? So like it was already made to be manipulated. Like this is just part of the course.
Yeah, Dak is a superstar that works with his team too. So it's like those guys are hard to come by. Like, look at all these other quarterbacks that are getting top paid money, bro. Like Aaron Rodgers, his organization hates him. Kyler Murray, his organization hates him. Russell Wilson, after this year, they'll hate him. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these organizations don't even like the guys who represent the highest paid guys on their team aren't even the best guy, like the guys that they want representing their team. You know what I'm saying? Right. He's giving you all of it, bro.
And you are correct, Dale. We are $7 million over the cap right now. But continue, Wes, because you're right. Because like a lot of these guys, like I know.
He said we're how much over the cap right now?
We're $7 million over the cap.
But yeah, but you got to remember, free agent once the free agency starts and those guys who are not on our contract fall off, then it'll shift. It's also we're 7 million's over right now with everybody that's on our team, but there's going to be guys that we don't resign, so that will naturally bring us down. Like I don't even know who's the guy like Brett Mayer. Like we know we're not going to sign him.
Yeah, he already said it's over with for Brett.
Yeah, they said they're moving in a different direction.
Right, and I don't blame him. I hate it for Brett because like I was the guy that came over here to
Fred is there's no way in hell you thought the new this move was gonna miss four freaking PhDs, bro. Nobody could have knocked it. I'm gonna whoop my daughter's butt. Keep leaving this damn bike outside. But yeah, there's no way anybody can do that. He didn't know he was gonna miss 4. Brett said, I know I'm good for 1, but damn 4. Like Brett might have to go to Canada after that, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard.
It's gonna be hard, bro. You hear me? But shoot, man, I'm about to get out of here, my boy.
Indeed, brother. I appreciate you for tapping in with me. Hey, let everybody know where to find you at West Coast. I know it's self-explanatory, but let them know anyway.
Hey, man, anywhere on social media, man, just type in West Coast, man. You'll see that Run the Damn Ball hat, and you'll see my boy pop up, man. You know what it is.
Right. And, hey, y'all, I'm going to get out of here, too. I've been on here for 2 hours and 10 minutes going on, so I appreciate y'all for tapping in with me. I enjoyed y'all company, even though we did not agree about everything in the chat. I do appreciate y'all for coming in, giving your opinion, and spending y'all nights listening to me ramble on about these Cowboys. So like, subscribe, and share the content. Subscribe to the page. I appreciate the love, and I will get at y'all tomorrow. God bless.